Which Irish poet, who died in 1939, had some of his work influenced by his love for Maud Gonne? W. B. Yeats. William Butler Yeats, 1865–1939, was a Nobel laureate and a prominent figure of 20th-century Irish literature. His profound, albeit unrequited, love for the Irish revolutionary and actress Maud Gonne deeply influenced a significant portion of his poetic output, shaping themes of beauty, nationalism, and spiritualism in his work. In which British Crown dependency does the annual Battle of the Flowers Carnival, typically held on the second Thursday in August, take place? Jersey. The Battle of the Flowers is a renowned annual carnival and major cultural event held in Jersey, the largest of the Channel Islands and a British Crown dependency. This vibrant festival showcases parades of elaborately decorated floats adorned with flowers, attracting both locals and tourists to celebrate the island's heritage and community. Mark Rutte, who took office on October 14, 2010, is the current Prime Minister of which European country? Netherlands. Mark Rutte has served as the Prime Minister of the Netherlands since 2010, making him one of Europe's longest-serving leaders. His political career and leadership are significant in understanding contemporary European politics. The Oval Portrait, 1842, The Masque of the Red Death, 1842, and The Murders in the Rue Morgue, 1841, were all works by which famous American author and poet? Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe was a central figure of American Romanticism, renowned for his tales of mystery and the macabre. His works are considered foundational to the genres of detective fiction and horror. Which motorway in England, just over 11 miles in length, connects the seaside resort of Blackpool to the M6 near Preston? M55. The M55 is a key motorway in Lancashire, England, providing a direct link for traffic travelling to and from the popular coastal town of Blackpool. Understanding major transport infrastructure is a component of geographical knowledge. Which specific creatures are collectively known as a parliament? Owls. The term parliament is a recognized collective noun for a group of owls. Such collective nouns are often tested in general knowledge sections of competitive examinations. Now considered the national dish of Switzerland, what type of food is cervelat? Sausage. Cervelat is a highly popular and traditional Swiss sausage, often regarded as a national culinary symbol. Questions about national dishes appear in general knowledge to assess cultural awareness. Now considered the national dish of Georgia, what type of food is khachapuri? Bread. Khachapuri is a traditional Georgian dish, essentially a cheese-filled bread, and is widely recognized as the national dish of Georgia. Knowledge of national culinary traditions is a common general awareness topic. Deriving its name from an Icelandic word meaning erupt, what name is given to a natural hot spring that intermittently ejects a column of water and steam into the air? Geyser. A geyser is a rare type of natural hot spring that is under pressure and intermittently ejects a column of water and steam into the air. This phenomenon is caused by the heating of groundwater by magma below the Earth's surface, creating immense pressure that eventually erupts. Living from 1537 to 1608, Mary Arden, her maiden name, was the mother of which famous British playwright? William Shakespeare. Mary Arden was the mother of William Shakespeare, one of the greatest playwrights in the English language. Her lineage and family connections provided a stable background for Shakespeare's upbringing in Stratford-upon-Avon, contributing to his literary legacy. Which word is used to describe any rock or soil material that has remained below 0 degrees centigrade continuously for more than 2 years? Permafrost. Permafrost is ground, soil, rock, or ice that remains frozen at or below 0 degrees Celsius, (32 degrees Fahrenheit) for at least 2 consecutive years. It is common in polar regions and high-altitude areas, playing a crucial role in global climate systems and affecting infrastructure. In which range of mountains are the two highest peaks Aconcagua and Ojos del Salado? The Andes. Aconcagua and Ojos del Salado are two of the highest peaks in the Andes mountain range, located in South America. Aconcagua is the highest peak in the Western Hemisphere, while Ojos del Salado is the highest active volcano in the world. Which British author, born in Torquay on September 15, 1890, married her first husband Archibald, whom she divorced in 1928? She married her second husband Max Malone in 1930, a partnership that was to last for 46 years. Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie, a celebrated British author, is renowned for her detective novels and short stories, particularly featuring Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple. She is considered one of the best-selling fiction writers of all time, with her works translated into numerous languages. A controversial figure who lived from 1905 to 2001, what was the much more famous name of Francis Ongier Pakenham? Lord Longford. Francis Ongier Pakenham, better known as Lord Longford, was a prominent British Labour politician and social reformer. He was particularly known for his campaigns against pornography and for prison reform, often sparking public debate. Famed for her role in politics and born in 1921, what is the much more famous name of Annie Frances Robbins? Nancy Reagan. Annie Frances Robbins, famously known as Nancy Reagan, served as the First Lady of the United States from 1981 to 1989 during her husband Ronald Reagan's presidency. She was a prominent advocate for the Just Say No anti-drug campaign and played a significant role in her husband's political career. What five-letter name was given to the implement of corporal punishment used mainly in Scottish schools that consisted of a strap of leather with one end split into a number of tails? TAWSE. A tavse was a specific implement of corporal punishment, traditionally a leather strap with a split end, used predominantly in Scottish schools. Its use was a common disciplinary measure until corporal punishment was gradually phased out in the latter half of the 20th century. What nine-letter name is commonly used to describe the form of punishment whereby the soles of the feet of an offender are beaten with an object usually consisting of a cane or rod? Bastinado. Bastinado, also known as falanga, is a form of corporal punishment involving the beating of the soles of a person's feet with an object such as a cane or rod. This method of punishment has been historically documented in various cultures and is considered a severe form of torture. Which British Prime Minister, born on January 17, 1863, is the only one to have been born in Manchester? David Lloyd George. David Lloyd George, a prominent Liberal statesman, served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1916 to 1922. He was instrumental in leading the wartime coalition government during World War I and was a key figure at the Paris Peace Conference. His birth in Manchester makes him a unique figure among British Prime Ministers. Which six-letter word, common in usage, derives its name from the Greek term meaning, circle of animals? Zodiac. The word, zodiac, originates from the ancient Greek, zodiakos kyklos, meaning, circle of animals. It refers to the celestial coordinate system used in astrology and historically in astronomy, dividing the ecliptic into 12 30-degree segments, each named after a constellation. Which prominent attraction on the River Thames shares its name with a brand of Scotch whisky that was launched in 1923? Cutty Sark. The Cutty Sark is a famous British clipper ship, launched in 1869, designed for the tea trade and later used for wool trade. It is preserved as a museum ship in Greenwich, London, and is a significant maritime heritage site. The whiskey brand, introduced in 1923, was named after the ship. Which British Prime Minister, born on December 29, 1809, is the sole Prime Minister to have been born in Liverpool? William Gladstone. William Gladstone was a towering figure in Victorian British politics, serving 4 terms as Prime Minister between 1868 and 1894. A leader of the Liberal Party, he was known for his fiscal policy, administrative reforms, and passionate speeches. His birthplace in Liverpool is a notable historical fact. Which royal park in London shares its name with a popular brand of sausages, introduced by Louis Moore in 1889? Richmond. Richmond Park is the largest of London's royal parks and a national nature reserve, known for its extensive ancient trees, wildlife, and stunning views. It has been a protected area since the 17th century. The park's historical and ecological significance makes it a notable landmark. Which common 4-letter word derives its name from the Greek meaning, sound returned? Echo. The word, echo, originates from the Greek, echo, referring to the repetition of a sound caused by the reflection of sound waves. In Greek mythology, Echo was an oread nymph who was cursed by Hera to only be able to repeat the last words spoken to her. In which book of the New Testament is the parable of the Good Samaritan found? Luke. The parable of the Good Samaritan is a well-known parable told by Jesus and is recorded in the Gospel of Luke, Luke chapter 10 verses 25 to 37. It illustrates the concept of compassion and helping those in need, regardless of background or perceived differences. Which former politician, who lived from 1910 to 2002, was known by the nickname, the Baroness of Blackburn? Barbara Castle. Barbara Castle was a prominent British Labour Party politician and Member of Parliament for Blackburn from 1945 to 1979. A key figure in the Labour governments of the 1960s and 70s, she is remembered for her work on equal pay legislation and social reforms. Which modern-day country was known as Northern Rhodesia until 1964? Zambia. Northern Rhodesia was a protectorate of the United Kingdom established in 1911. It gained independence in 1964 and was renamed Zambia. The change marked a significant event in the decolonization of Africa, with Kenneth Kaunda becoming its first president. Which chemical element, listed as number 77 in the periodic table, derives its name from the Latin word for rainbow? Iridium. Iridium, atomic number 77, symbol IR, is a very hard, brittle, silvery white transition metal. It is notable for being the most corrosion-resistant metal and is named after the Greek goddess Iris, personification of the rainbow, due to the varied colors of its soles. Which chemical element, listed as number 28 in the periodic table, derives its name from a Swedish word meaning copper-colored ore? Nickel. Nickel, atomic number 28, symbol Ni, is a silvery white, lustrous metal with a slight golden tinge. Its name comes from the Swedish, kopparnickel, literally, copper nickel, a derogatory term used by miners for a mineral that resembled copper but yielded no copper, but was instead nickel ore. Which is England's most southerly mainland city? Truro. Truro is a cathedral city and civil parish in Cornwall, England. It holds the distinction of being the United Kingdom's southernmost city on the mainland, historically significant as a port and market town. In which English county are the towns of Kidderminster and Evesham? Worcestershire. Kidderminster and Evesham are significant towns located within the county of Worcestershire in England. Worcestershire is renowned for its rich agricultural landscape, particularly its fruit orchards, and numerous historical sites. In which English county are the towns of Bridgwater and Glastonbury? Somerset. Bridgewater and Glastonbury are notable towns situated in the county of Somerset, England. Somerset is celebrated for its diverse landscapes, including the Mendip Hills, and its deep historical and mythical associations, particularly with Glastonbury Abbey. Herbert Pocket and Bentley Drumley are characters that appear in which book by Charles Dickens? Great Expectations. Herbert Pocket and Bentley Drumley are pivotal characters in Charles Dickens's renowned novel, Great Expectations. Published in serial form from 1860 to 1861, this classic explores themes of social class, ambition, and identity through the life of its protagonist, Pip. First performed at the La Scala Opera House in Milan in 1817, which piece of music by Rossini translates as La Gazzaladra? The Thieving Magpie. The Thieving Magpie, Italian, La Gazzaladra, is an opera semiseria by Gioacchino Rossini, first performed in 1817 at La Scala, Milan. Its dramatic overture is particularly famous and frequently performed as a standalone concert piece. Give any year in the life of Saint Francis of Assisi. 1181-1226. Saint Francis of Assisi was an Italian Catholic friar, deacon, and mystic who lived from 1181-1182 to 1226. He is the founder of the Franciscan order and is celebrated for his deep devotion to poverty, nature, and service to the poor. From which book by Charles Dickens are James Steerforth and Wilkins Micawber characters? David Copperfield. David Copperfield is a classic novel by Charles Dickens, first published serially in 1849-50. It is a semi-autobiographical work, often considered Dickens's masterpiece, featuring numerous memorable characters like James Steerforth, a charming but ultimately villainous character, and Wilkins Micawber, an eternally optimistic but perpetually indebted gentleman. What were the birth and death years of the British chemist and physicist Michael Faraday? 1791 to 1867. Michael Faraday, 1791 to 1867, was a pioneering British scientist who made significant contributions to the fields of electromagnetism and electrochemistry. His discoveries include the principles underlying electromagnetic induction, diamagnetism, and electrolysis, laying the groundwork for many technological advancements. Who authored the children's book, Mary Poppins, first published in 1934? P. L. Travers. Mary Poppins is a series of 8 children's books written by Australian-British author P. L. Travers and illustrated by Mary Shepherd. The first book was published in 1934, introducing the magical nanny who arrives at the Banks family home. Which orchestral tone poem by Richard Strauss is famously used as the soundtrack for the 1968 film, 2001, A Space Odyssey? Also Sprach Zarathustra. Also Sprach Zarathustra, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, is a tone poem by Richard Strauss, composed in 1896, inspired by Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophical novel of the same name. Its opening, Sunrise, section gained immense popularity after being featured prominently in Stanley Kubrick's 1968 science fiction film, 2001, A Space Odyssey. Helena is the capital city of which U.S. state? Montana. Helena is the capital city of the U.S. state of Montana, located in Lewis and Clark County. It became the capital in 1875 when Montana was still a territory, a status it retained upon Montana's admission to the Union in 1889. Lansing is the capital city of which U.S. state? Michigan. Lansing is the capital city of the U.S. state of Michigan. Situated in Ingham County, it is unique among U.S. state capitals for not also being a county seat. In Greek mythology, what were the names of the winged creatures known for stealing food from the blind prophet Phineas? Harpies. In Greek mythology, harpies were mythical creatures with the body of a bird and the face of a human woman, known for their foul stench and their role as agents of punishment. They were notoriously associated with tormenting the blind Thracian king Phineus by constantly snatching and defiling his food, until they were driven away by the Argonauts. What 10-letter word is given to the fish of the goby family which frequently leave the water to jump on land using their adapted front fins? Mudskipper. Mudskippers are amphibious fish from the goby family, notable for their ability to move on land using modified pectoral fins. They are found in tropical and subtropical regions, particularly in mangrove ecosystems, and possess adaptations for both aquatic and terrestrial respiration. Which is the second most highly populated town on the Isle of Man, with Douglas being the first? Ramsey. Ramsey is the second largest town on the Isle of Man, a self-governing British Crown dependency in the Irish Sea. Douglas is the island's capital and largest settlement, serving as its primary economic and administrative center. What two-word name is commonly given to the heavy, slow-moving lizard that grows up to 2 feet in length and, along with the Mexican beaded lizard, is one of the only venomous lizards indigenous to North America? Gila monster. The Gila monster is a venomous lizard native to the southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico, known for its distinctive beaded skin. It is one of only 2 venomous lizard species found in North America, the other being the Mexican beaded lizard. In Greek mythology, what was the name of the giant man of bronze who protected an uninhabited island from pirates and invaders, circling its shores 3 times a day whilst defending it? Talos. Talos was a mythical giant of bronze in Greek mythology, created by Hephaestus, who protected the island of Crete. He was tasked with guarding Europa and preventing invaders from landing, doing so by circling the island and throwing rocks at ships. What is the second most highly populated town on the island of Anglesey, with Holyhead being the first? Llangefni. Llangefni is the county town of Anglesey, an island and county in Wales, United Kingdom. While Holyhead is the largest town and a significant port, Llangefni holds administrative importance as the island's central market town. 4 letters of the Greek alphabet have a 2-letter name, mu, nu, she, and which other, the 16th letter? Pi. The Greek alphabet, fundamental to many academic disciplines, includes several letters with 2-letter names, such as mu, nu, she, and pi. Pi, the 16th letter, is particularly significant in mathematics, where it represents the constant ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. Which Spanish Romantic painter, who lived from 1746 to 1828, was responsible for works such as The Parasol, 1777, Duchess of Alba, 1795, and Witches, Sabbath, 1789, among others? Francisco Goya. Francisco Goya, 1746 to 1828, was a pivotal Spanish Romantic painter and printmaker. His extensive oeuvre includes royal tapestry cartoons, portraits, and later, darker works reflecting political turmoil and societal critique, making him a significant figure in art history. What name is given to the ancient Roman road that links the cities of Exeter and Lincoln in England? Fosse Way. The Fosse Way is an ancient Roman road in England, linking Exeter, Isca Domnoniorum, in the southwest to Lincoln, Lindum Colonia, in the northeast. It represents a significant archaeological and historical remnant of Roman Britain's engineering and administrative prowess. The annual Three Choirs Festival alternates between Gloucester, Worcester, and which other cathedral city? Hereford. The Three Choirs Festival is one of the world's oldest classical music festivals, rotating annually between the cathedrals of Gloucester, Hereford, and Worcester. Dating back to the early 18th century, it features performances of choral and orchestral music, contributing significantly to British musical heritage. Which two biblical characters form the basis of the musical play, Stand Tall, first performed in 2011? David and Goliath. David and Goliath are prominent figures from the Old Testament, representing the triumph of the underdog against overwhelming odds. Their story is a cornerstone of Judeo-Christian tradition and has inspired countless works of art, literature, and popular culture, symbolizing faith and courage. Which Swiss painter, active from 1879 to 1940, created works such as The Red Balloon, 1922, Landscape with Yellow Birds, 1923, and Around the Fish, 1926. Paul Klee. Paul Klee was a prominent Swiss-German artist associated with Expressionism, Cubism, and Surrealism. He was influenced by children's drawings and explored various styles, contributing significantly to modern art theory and practice, including teaching at the Bauhaus. Which historic London venue formerly hosted the annual Ideal Home Show? Earl's Court. Earl's Court Exhibition Centre was a major exhibition and event venue in London, operational from 1937 to 2014. It was renowned for hosting a wide array of significant events, including the annual Ideal Home Show, and served as a cultural and commercial hub for decades before its redevelopment. The name of which major Spanish newspaper translates as the country? El País. El País is a prominent Spanish daily newspaper, founded in 1976 during Spain's transition to democracy. It is widely regarded as one of the country's most influential newspapers and is a key voice in Spanish and international political discourse. What was the name of the policewoman who was shot and killed outside the Libyan embassy in London on April 17, 1984? Yvonne Fletcher. WPC Yvonne Fletcher was a British police officer killed by shots fired from the Libyan embassy during a protest in London in 1984. The incident sparked a major diplomatic crisis between the UK and Libya, leading to the siege of the embassy and the eventual expulsion of Libyan diplomats. Which English inventor introduced the multi-spool spinning frame known as the spinning jenny in 1764? James Hargreaves. James Hargreaves was a British weaver and carpenter credited with inventing the spinning jenny, a key invention in the Industrial Revolution. This machine significantly improved the efficiency of cotton spinning, allowing a single worker to operate multiple spindles simultaneously and vastly increasing textile production. Which disease is also known as pertussis? Whooping cough. Pertussis, commonly known as whooping cough, is a highly contagious respiratory tract infection caused by the bacterium Bordetella pertussis. It is characterized by severe, uncontrollable coughing fits, often followed by a distinctive, whooping sound during inhalation. Which British inventor was responsible for the introduction of the rubber band in 1845? Stephen Perry. Stephen Perry, an inventor and businessman, is credited with patenting the rubber band in 1845. His invention revolutionized the organization and binding of documents and other items, becoming a ubiquitous tool in offices and households worldwide. What was the name of the policeman killed on October 6, 1985, during a series of riots on the Broadwater farm housing estate in London? Keith Blakelock. PC Keith Blakelock was a British police officer tragically killed during the Broadwater farm riot in Tottenham, London, in 1985. His death became a defining moment of the unrest, which stemmed from racial tensions and mistrust between the community and the police force. Which disease is also known as variola? Smallpox. Variola is the medical term for smallpox, a highly contagious and often fatal disease caused by the variola virus. The World Health Organization, WHO, declared smallpox eradicated globally in 1980 following a successful worldwide vaccination campaign. What type of bird is a silver trumpeter? Swan. The silver trumpeter is a breed of domestic swan, specifically a variety of the mute swan, Cygnus oler. This term is less commonly used in general ornithology but refers to a distinct lineage recognized for its plumage and specific characteristics among breeders. What nationality was Marie Tussaud, who founded the famous wax museum? Swiss. Marie Tussaud, born Anna Maria Groscholz, was a Swiss artist known for her wax sculptures. She founded Madame Tussauds, the renowned wax museum in London, which originated from an exhibition of her wax models during the French Revolution. Khartoum is the capital of which country? Sudan. Khartoum serves as the capital city of Sudan, located at the confluence of the White Nile and Blue Nile rivers. It is a major economic and political hub in Northeast Africa, known for its strategic location and historical significance. Kampala is the capital of which country? Uganda. Kampala is the capital and largest city of Uganda, situated close to the northern shores of Lake Victoria. It is the primary urban center for commerce, administration, and education in Uganda, reflecting the nation's cultural and economic life. Which famous speech of 1936 began with the words, "At last I am able to say a few words of my own"? Abdication speech of Edward VIII. This quote is from the abdication speech of King Edward VIII, broadcast on December 11, 1936. Edward chose to abdicate the British throne to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee, stating he could not carry the heavy burden of responsibility without the support of the woman he loved. This event marked a significant constitutional crisis in British history. In mythology, what was the name of the Greek goddess of wisdom? Athena. Athena is a prominent figure in Greek mythology, revered as the goddess of wisdom, strategic warfare, and handicrafts. She was born fully formed from the head of Zeus, signifying her intellect and strategic prowess in battle and governance. In jazz music, what instrument was Dizzy Gillespie famous for playing? Trumpet. Dizzy Gillespie was an iconic American jazz trumpeter, bandleader, composer, and singer. He was a key figure in the development of bebop and modern jazz, known for his virtuosic trumpet playing and distinctive bent horn. In mythology, what was the name of the Greek goddess of marriage and birth? Hera. Hera is a principal deity in Greek mythology, known as the queen of the Olympian gods and the goddess of marriage, women, childbirth, and family. She is the wife and sister of Zeus and is often depicted as majestic and solemn. To which barony was former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher elevated? Kesteven. Margaret Thatcher, after serving as Prime Minister from 1979 to 1990, was granted a life peerage as Baroness Thatcher of Kesteven in the county of Lincolnshire in 1992. This elevation allowed her to become a member of the House of Lords. What is the modern name of the English coastal town known as Dubris by the Romans? Dover. Dubris was a significant Roman port and fort on the Kent coast, serving as a key naval base and gateway to Roman Britain. Its strategic location made it a vital link in the Roman communication network across the English Channel, and it is now known as Dover. What is the contemporary name of the southern English city known as Isca Dumnoniorum during the Roman period? Exeter. Isca Dumnoniorum was a significant Roman legionary fortress and later a civilian settlement in southwest England, serving as the tribal capital for the Dumnoni. Its name indicates its location on the River Exe and its connection to the Dumnoni tribe. Former Prime Minister Tony Blair was a Member of Parliament for which constituency from 1983 to 2007? Sedgefield. Tony Blair served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1997 to 2007. He represented the constituency of Sedgefield in County Durham as a Labour Member of Parliament for 24 years, from 1983 until his resignation in 2007. What was the name of the IRA hunger striker who died in 1981 after a 66-day hunger strike? Bobby Sands. Bobby Sands was an Irish Republican volunteer who died during the 1981 Irish hunger strike in Maze Prison. His death after 66 days brought significant international attention to the Northern Ireland conflict and the Republican prisoners' demands. What was the name of the horse ridden by Herbert Jones that trampled and killed suffragette Emily Davison during the 1913 Derby? Anmer. Emily Davison, a prominent suffragette, stepped in front of King George V's horse, Anmer, during the 1913 Epsom Derby. She was trampled and died 4 days later, an act that became a powerful symbol for the women's suffrage movement. With a population of over 150,000 inhabitants, Trondheim is the third most highly populated city of which European country? Norway. Trondheim is Norway's third most populous municipality and the fourth most populous urban area. It is an important cultural and economic center in central Norway, known for its history, technology, and university. Sigd, with a population exceeding 170,000 inhabitants, is the third most populous city in which European country? Hungary. Sigd is a major city in Hungary, strategically located on the Tis River. It is known for its university, historical architecture, and significant cultural contributions to the region. The A12 road connects London to which coastal resort town in Norfolk? Great Yarmouth. The A12 is a significant trunk road in England, forming a vital link between London and the eastern counties of Suffolk and Norfolk. Great Yarmouth is a prominent coastal town and popular tourist destination on the Norfolk coast, known for its beaches and historical significance as a port. Which famous event that occurred on the 30th of January 1972 is sometimes called the Bogside Massacre? Bloody Sunday. Bloody Sunday, also known as the Bogside Massacre, occurred on January 30, 1972, when British soldiers shot 26 unarmed civilians during a protest march in Derry, Northern Ireland. The incident, which resulted in 14 deaths, was a pivotal event in the Troubles, significantly escalating conflict and public outrage. Stretching a total of 264 miles, which is New Zealand's longest river? Waikato. The Waikato River is the longest river in New Zealand, flowing for 425 kilometers, 264 miles, through the North Island. It originates from Lake Taupo and discharges into the Tasman Sea, playing a significant role in the region's hydroelectric power generation and ecology. What type of fruit is a nati? Orange or mandarin. A nati is a type of citrus fruit, closely related to and often identified as a mandarin orange or tangerine. It is particularly popular in southern Africa, known for its easy-to-peel skin and sweet, juicy segments. Which is the most heavily populated city in China? Shanghai. Shanghai is currently the most populous city in China, serving as a global financial hub and a major port. Its vast urban area and continuous growth reflect its economic significance and status as a megacity. What fruit or vegetable is Royal Chandni a variety of? Carrot. Royal Chandni is a popular variety of carrot known for its conical shape and sweet flavor. Carrots are root vegetables rich in beta-carotene, an antioxidant converted to vitamin A, essential for vision and immune function. What fruit or vegetable is champagne a variety of? Rhubarb. Champagne is a common cultivar of rhubarb, known for its relatively sweet and tender stalks, often used in desserts and jams. Rhubarb is botanically classified as a vegetable, though it is often used culinarily as a fruit, and its leaves contain toxic oxalic acid. Which is the most populous city in Brazil? São Paulo. São Paulo is the most populous city in Brazil and one of the largest metropolitan areas globally. It serves as Brazil's economic powerhouse, boasting a diverse culture and significant influence on national and international finance and commerce. The British Isles have only 3 native coniferous trees: the Scots pine, the yew, and which other species? Juniper. Juniper, Juniperus communis, is one of the 3 native coniferous trees to the British Isles, alongside the Scots pine and the yew. It is distinguished by its fleshy, berry-like cones, which are famously used as a flavoring agent in gin. In which battle of 1513 was the Scottish King James IV killed? The Battle of Flodden. King James IV of Scotland was killed at the Battle of Flodden in 1513, a catastrophic defeat for the Scottish forces against the English army. This battle remains one of the bloodiest in Anglo-Scottish history, resulting in heavy casualties, including a significant portion of the Scottish nobility. Before 1966, what was the Republic of Botswana known as when it was a protectorate of the British government? Bechuanaland. Prior to gaining independence in 1966, the Republic of Botswana was a British protectorate known as Bechuanaland. This protectorate status, established in 1885, was crucial in preventing its annexation by other regional powers, paving the way for its later sovereign statehood. Which coniferous species, introduced to Britain, is unique for being the only deciduous conifer, shedding its yellow needles in autumn? Larch. The larch, Larix, is a unique coniferous tree species notable for its deciduous nature. Unlike most conifers which are evergreen, the larch sheds its needles annually in autumn after they turn yellow, making it a distinctive sight in temperate forests. Who was the renowned Dutch-born woodcarver, celebrated for his intricate Baroque garlands and still-life carvings found in prominent English buildings like St. Paul's Cathedral and Hampton Court Palace? Grinling Gibbons. Grinling Gibbons, 1648–1721, was an Anglo-Dutch sculptor and woodcarver known for his exceptional skill in decorative wood carving. His elaborate Baroque designs, often featuring realistic garlands of fruits, flowers, and foliage, adorned many significant architectural masterpieces in England during the late 17th and early 18th centuries. In which battle, fought in 1403, was Henry Percy, famously known as Hotspur, killed? Battle of Shrewsbury. The Battle of Shrewsbury, fought on July 21, 1403, was a significant engagement in medieval England. It pitted King Henry IV against a rebellious faction led by Henry Percy, known as Hotspur, who was killed during the battle. This conflict is famously depicted in Shakespeare's play, Henry IV, Part 1 Foot. Before 1966, the Kingdom of Lesotho was a British Crown colony known by what name? Basutoland. Basutoland was a British protectorate and later a Crown colony in southern Africa, which gained full independence as the Kingdom of Lesotho in 1966. This historical name reflects the colonial administrative structure and the journey towards self-governance. Which general introduced martial law in Poland in 1981? Jaruzelski. General Wojciech Jaruzelski, then Prime Minister and First Secretary of the Polish United Workers' Party, declared martial law in Poland on December 13, 1981. This act was intended to suppress political opposition, particularly the Solidarity movement, and to prevent potential Soviet intervention. Which natural food item is named after the American John McAdam? Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are named after John McAdam, a Scottish-Australian chemist, physician, and politician. While he didn't discover the nut, the genus Macadamia was named in his honor by his colleague Ferdinand von Müller in 1857. Which Russian composer wrote 15 symphonies, 6 concertos, an opera titled The Nose, and a ballet titled The Age of Gold, and served as a firefighter during the siege of Leningrad? Dmitry Shostakovich. Dmitry Shostakovich was a prominent Soviet-era composer, whose works often reflected the political climate of the USSR. His involvement as a firefighter during the devastating siege of Leningrad in World War II profoundly influenced his Seventh Symphony, famously known as the Leningrad Symphony. In the chemical periodic table, how many chemical elements are included in the group referred to as the halogens? 5. The halogens constitute group 17 of the periodic table, comprising 5 reactive non-metallic elements: fluorine, F, chlorine, Cl, bromine, bridge, iodine, I, and astatine, At. They are highly reactive due to having 7 valence electrons, readily forming icons by gaining 1 electron. In the chemical periodic table, how many chemical elements are included in the group referred to as the noble gases? 6. The noble gases are found in group 18 of the periodic table and include 6 elements: helium, He, neon, Ne, argon, krypton, Car, xenon, X, and radon, Rn. These gases are characterized by their extreme chemical inertness due to having a full outer electron shell, making them very stable. Timothy McVeigh was executed in the United States in 2001 for a bombing atrocity in which 168 people were killed and over 800 injured. In which state capital city did the atrocity take place? Oklahoma City. The Oklahoma City bombing occurred on April 19, 1995, when Timothy McVeigh detonated a truck bomb outside the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. This act of domestic terrorism remains one of the deadliest in U.S. history, prompting significant changes in federal building security and counterterrorism efforts. Who was the East German leader tried for high treason in 1993? Erich Honecker. Erich Honecker served as the General Secretary of the Socialist Unity Party of Germany and head of state of East Germany from 1971 to 1989. Following German reunification, he was arrested and tried for high treason and human rights abuses, specifically related to the shoot to kill order at the Berlin Wall. Which food item is named after the Tamil word for pepper water? Malagatoni. Malagatoni is a popular Anglo-Indian soup, deriving its name from the Tamil words milagu, pepper, and thani, water, literally meaning pepper water. Originating in South India, it evolved from a simple spicy broth to a more elaborate soup, often incorporating meat, lentils, and vegetables, reflecting its colonial history. Which Italian composer, known for church music, string quartets, and symphonies, was primarily acclaimed for his numerous operas, including Annie Boleyn and Lucretia Borgia? He was born in Bergamo and joined the Austrian army at the end of the Napoleonic era. Donizetti. Gaetano Donizetti, 1797–1848, was a prominent Italian opera composer of the bel canto era. His prolific output includes approximately 75 operas, 100 other vocal works, 28 cantatas, and various orchestral and chamber pieces. He is best known for his operas like Lucia di Lammermoor, Annie Boleyn, and L'Elysée d'Amour. On April 17, 1961, which infamous conflict with significant immediate political repercussions occurred in the Caribbean? Bay of Pigs. The Bay of Pigs invasion was a failed landing operation on the southwestern coast of Cuba in April 1961 by Cuban exiles who opposed Fidel Castro's Cuban Revolution. Covertly financed and directed by the US government, primarily the CIA, the defeat was a major embarrassment for the Kennedy administration and significantly strengthened Castro's position, pushing Cuba closer to the Soviet Union. The tombs of almost all British monarchs are located within the UK. One notable exception is William I, the Conqueror. Near which French town or city is his burial place? Caen. William I, known as William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, conquered England in 1066. He was buried in the Abbaye aux Ormes, Saint-Étienne, in Caen, Normandy, France, a monastery he founded. His burial in France reflects his dual role as Duke of Normandy and King of England. What is the name of the Scottish Systems Administrator accused by the USA of computer hacking into US Army systems and currently resisting extradition? Gary McKinnon. Gary McKinnon is a Scottish hacker accused of committing the biggest military computer hack of all time by the United States. He allegedly gained unauthorized access to 97 US military and NASA computers between 2001 and 2002. His long-running legal battle against extradition to the US, citing human rights and mental health concerns, garnered significant public and political attention. Which is the largest landlocked country in the world, with an area exceeding 1 million square miles? Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is the world's largest landlocked country and the 9th largest country by area, spanning over 2.7 million square kilometers, over 1 million square miles. It is located in Central Asia and Eastern Europe, bordering Russia, China, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. Its vast territory makes it a significant geopolitical entity. What is the largest landlocked state in the USA, with an area just under 150,000 square miles? Montana. Montana is the 4th largest state by area in the United States and the largest of the 16 landlocked states. With an area of approximately 147,040 square miles, it is known for its diverse geography, including the Rocky Mountains and the Great Plains. Its vast, open spaces contribute to its Big Sky Country nickname. The tombs of almost all British monarchs are located within the UK. One of the few exceptions is George I, near which German town or city is his burial place? Hanover. George I, the first Hanoverian king of Great Britain and Ireland, was Elector of Hanover before ascending the British throne. He maintained strong ties to his German homeland and died during a visit there. He is buried in the chapel of Liner Palace in Hanover, Germany, reflecting his lineage and the personal union between Great Britain and Hanover. What is the name of the retired English businessman accused by the USA of exporting batteries to Iran, who was extradited this year and is currently awaiting trial in prison in New Mexico? Christopher Tappin. Christopher Tappin was a British businessman accused by the United States of attempting to illegally export components for surface-to-air missiles to Iran, violating US sanctions. His extradition to the US in 2012, after a long legal battle, sparked considerable debate in the UK regarding the fairness of the extradition treaty. He subsequently pleaded guilty to the charges. Graphology is the study of what? Handwriting. Graphology is the pseudoscientific study and analysis of handwriting, especially in relation to human psychology. Practitioners of graphology claim to be able to assess personality traits, mental states, and even health issues through handwriting analysis. While popular in some contexts, it is not considered a valid scientific discipline by the mainstream scientific community. Which is the world's deepest lake? Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal is located in Siberia, Russia, and holds the distinction of being both the deepest lake in the world and the largest freshwater lake by volume. It contains approximately 20% of the world's unfrozen fresh surface water and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its unique biodiversity. who joined Roy Jenkins, Bill Rogers and Shirley Williams as the Social Democrats, Gang of Four. David Owen. The Gang of Four refers to four senior Labour Party politicians, Roy Jenkins, David Owen, Bill Rogers, and Shirley Williams, who dramatically resigned from the party in 1981. They subsequently founded the Social Democratic Party, SDP, marking a significant realignment in British politics during the early 1980s. Which politician was the first rail fatality, killed under the wheels of Stephenson's rocket, in 1830? William Huskisson. William Huskisson, a prominent British politician and Member of Parliament, holds the unfortunate distinction of being the first recorded railway fatality. He was tragically struck by Stephenson's rocket locomotive during the ceremonial opening of the Liverpool and Manchester Railway in 1830, an event that highlighted the early dangers of the new railway technology. How many lines are in a limerick? 5. A limerick is a short, humorous, and often nonsensical poem consisting of 5 lines. It follows a specific AABBA rhyme scheme, where the first, second, and fifth lines are longer and rhyme with each other, while the third and fourth lines are shorter and also rhyme. How many lines are in a sonnet? 14. A sonnet is a lyrical poem composed of 14 lines, typically written in iambic pentameter and adhering to one of several traditional rhyme schemes. The two most common forms are the Shakespearean, or English, sonnet and the Petrarchan, or Italian, sonnet, each with distinct structural patterns. What was the Christian name of Prime Minister Harold Macmillan, though he preferred to be known by his middle name, Harold? Morris. Harold Macmillan, born Morris Harold Macmillan, served as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1957 to 1963. He was a prominent figure in British politics post-World War II, known for his calm demeanour and foreign policy during the Cold War. The influential book, The Naked Ape, was published in 1967. Who was its author? Desmond Morris. The Naked Ape, a zoologist's study of the human animal, is a 1967 book by British zoologist and ethologist Desmond Morris. The book explores human behavior from a detached, zoological perspective, classifying humans as a species of ape and analyzing various aspects of human nature through an evolutionary lens. Aspartame is an alternative to what common food additive? Sugar. Aspartame is an artificial non-saccharide sweetener commonly used as a sugar substitute in various foods and beverages. Discovered in 1965, it is significantly sweeter than sucrose, table sugar, and offers a low-calorie alternative, making it popular in diet products. Which city is considered the most easterly major city in Australia? Brisbane. Brisbane is the capital city of Queensland, Australia, located on the eastern seaboard. While Cape Byron is the most easterly point of mainland Australia, Brisbane is recognized as the most easterly major city due to its significant population and urban development. What was the Roman name for the region corresponding to modern-day Scotland? Caledonia. Caledonia was the Roman name for the land north of the Roman province of Britannia, roughly corresponding to modern Scotland. The Romans frequently campaigned into Caledonia but never fully conquered it, notably building Hadrian's Wall and later the Antonine Wall to mark their northern frontier. The controversial book, The Female Eunuch, appeared in 1970. Who was the author? Germaine Greer. Germaine Greer's The Female Eunuch, published in 1970, is a groundbreaking feminist work that became a global bestseller. It is considered a pivotal text in second-wave feminism, analyzing the societal roles and disempowerment of women. In cooking, to what ingredient is agar-agar a vegetarian alternative? Gelatin. Agar-agar is a natural gelling agent derived from red algae, widely used as a vegetarian and vegan alternative to gelatin. It is utilized in various culinary applications, from desserts to thickening agents, and also extensively in scientific laboratories as a culture medium. Which is the southernmost city in Australia? Hobart. Hobart is the capital city of Tasmania and holds the distinction of being the southernmost city in Australia. Located at the estuary of the Derwent River, it is a significant port city known for its historic charm and is a departure point for Antarctic expeditions. What was the Roman name for Ireland? Hibernia. The Roman Empire referred to the island of Ireland as Hibernia. Although never fully conquered by the Romans, Hibernia was known to them through trade and occasional expeditions, and its name appears in ancient Roman geographical and historical texts. Who wrote the opera, Les Troyens? Hector Berlioz. Hector Berlioz, a renowned French romantic composer, is the author of the grand opera, Les Troyens, the Trojans. This monumental work, based on Virgil's Aeneid, is celebrated for its dramatic scope, innovative orchestration, and ambitious scale, though it was not performed in its entirety during his lifetime. In the electromagnetic spectrum, which type of waves has the longest wavelength and is primarily used in communication? Radio waves. Radio waves are a type of electromagnetic radiation with the longest wavelengths and lowest frequencies in the spectrum. They are extensively used for various forms of communication, including radio broadcasting, television, mobile phones, and radar, due to their ability to travel long distances and penetrate objects. Which chemical element, discovered in 1898 by Ramsay and Travers, was given a Greek name meaning new thing? Neon. Neon is a noble gas discovered in 1898 by Scottish chemists Sir William Ramsay and Maurice Travers. Its name is derived from the Greek word, neos, meaning new. Neon is widely known for its use in neon lights, where it emits a distinctive orange-red glow when an electric current passes through it. The Battle of Stalingrad was a pivotal turning point of the Second World War. Who was the commander of the Soviet forces in this battle? Marshal Georgy Zhukov. Marshal Georgy Zhukov was a key Soviet military commander during World War II, playing a decisive role in the Battle of Stalingrad, 1942-1943. This brutal and protracted engagement on the Eastern Front marked a strategic defeat for Nazi Germany and significantly shifted the momentum of the war in favor of the Allied powers. Which country produces over 50% of all rice in Europe? Italy. Italy is the leading rice producer in Europe, contributing more than half of the continent's total output. The Po Valley in northern Italy, with its favorable climate and extensive irrigation systems, is the primary region for rice cultivation, particularly for varieties like Arborio and Carnaroli, essential for Italian cuisine. Who composed the opera, Dido and Aeneas? Henry Purcell. Dido and Aeneas is a renowned English opera composed by Henry Purcell, believed to have been first performed around 1689. It is considered one of the earliest and most significant English operas and a masterpiece of the Baroque era. The opera tells the tragic love story of Dido, the Queen of Carthage, and the Trojan hero Aeneas. In the electromagnetic spectrum, which type of waves has the shortest wavelength and is primarily used in medical diagnosis? Gamma rays. Gamma rays are the highest energy, shortest wavelength electromagnetic waves in the spectrum, produced by radioactive decay and nuclear processes. Due to their high penetrating power, they are utilized in medical applications such as radiation therapy for cancer treatment and in certain diagnostic imaging techniques like PET scans. Who is the president of Argentina? Cristina Kirchner. Cristina Fernández de Kirchner served as the president of Argentina from 2007 to 2015. She was the first elected female president of Argentina. While she remains a significant political figure, the current president of Argentina, as of 2024, is Javier Milei. What type of animal is a gavial? Crocodile. Gavials, also known as gharials, are a unique type of crocodilian found predominantly in the rivers of the northern Indian subcontinent. They are distinguished by their long, slender snouts, which are particularly adapted for catching fish. Gavials are critically endangered, facing threats from habitat loss and pollution. What type of animal is a galago? Bush baby. A galago, commonly referred to as a bush baby, is a small, nocturnal primate native to mainland Africa. Known for their large eyes, excellent night vision, and strong hind limbs, they are adept at leaping through trees. Their distinctive cries resemble a baby's wail, giving them their common name. The trilogy of comedy plays known as The Norman Conquests was written by which playwright? Alan Ayckbourn. The Norman Conquests is a renowned trilogy of interconnected plays by the British playwright Alan Ayckbourn, first staged in 1973. Each play depicts the same 6 characters and events over a single weekend, seen from different locations within a house. The plays ingeniously explore themes of relationships, infidelity, and unhappiness with comic brilliance. In 1314, Robert the Bruce and a small Scottish army inflicted a massive defeat on a huge English army at Bannockburn. Who was the leader of the English forces? Edward II. The Battle of Bannockburn in 1314 was a pivotal victory for Robert the Bruce's Scottish forces over the English army led by King Edward II. This decisive battle secured Scotland's independence from English rule for several centuries and cemented Robert the Bruce's legacy as a national hero. Who was the German painter and sculptor who was a founder of the Surrealist movement? Among his works are The Elephant Celebes and Le Grand Amoureux. Max Ernst. Max Ernst was a pioneering German painter, sculptor, graphic artist, and poet, central to both the Dada and Surrealist art movements. He is celebrated for his innovative use of techniques like frottage and grattage, creating dreamlike and psychologically charged compositions. His art often explored themes of the subconscious, mythology, and social critique. The highly acclaimed stage comedy, Noises Off, was written by which playwright? Michael Frayn. Noises Off is a celebrated farce by the English playwright Michael Frayn, which premiered in 1982. The play ingeniously showcases the chaotic backstage and onstage antics of a touring theatre company attempting to stage a mediocre sex comedy. It is widely praised for its complex physical comedy and intricate plotting. In 1745, Bonnie Prince Charlie and an army of Scottish Highlanders were defeated at the Battle of Culloden by British forces. Who was the victorious leader of the government forces? Duke of Northumberland. The Battle of Culloden in 1746 marked the final confrontation of the Jacobite Rising, where Bonnie Prince Charlie's forces were decisively defeated by the British government army. The battle ended the Jacobite cause and led to severe repressions against Highland culture. What are the 2 upper chambers of the heart called? Atria or auricles. The human heart is a 4-chambered organ, with the 2 upper chambers known as the atria, singular, atrium. These chambers are responsible for receiving blood returning to the heart from the body and lungs. The term, auricles, specifically refers to the ear-shaped muscular appendages protruding from each atrium. When asked about the role of Prime Minister, which 20th century Prime Minister replied, "The main essentials required for this job are sleep and a sense of history." Harold Wilson. Harold Wilson, a prominent Labour Party leader, served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for 2 non-consecutive terms in the 20th century, 1964 to 1970 and 1974 to 1976. His insightful quote underscores the demanding nature of the role, highlighting the need for both physical stamina and a deep understanding of historical context to effectively govern. The chrysanthemum is the national symbol for which country? Japan. The chrysanthemum, kiku, is a revered national flower and a deeply significant symbol in Japanese culture. It represents longevity, rejuvenation, and nobility, and is prominently featured as the crest of the imperial family, known as the Imperial Seal of Japan. The annual Chrysanthemum Festival, or Kiku no Seku, is one of Japan's 5 ancient sacred festivals. What is the SI unit of radioactivity? Becquerel. The becquerel, BQ, is the SI unit of radioactivity, defined as the activity of a quantity of radioactive material in which one nucleus decays per second. It is named after Henri Becquerel, a French physicist who shared the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1903 for his discovery of spontaneous radioactivity. Which British artist, born in Tenby, painted The Smiling Woman and Portrait of a Lady in Black? Augustus John. Augustus John, 1878 to 1961, was a prominent British painter, known for his powerful portraits and a bohemian lifestyle. He was a leading figure in British art in the early 20th century, celebrated for his expressive style and psychological depth in his depictions of various personalities. From which of Shakespeare's plays does the quotation, "We happy few, we band of brothers," come? Henry V. This famous line is from William Shakespeare's historical play Henry V***, specifically from King Henry's St. Crispin's Day speech before the Battle of Agincourt. The speech is renowned for its inspiring rhetoric and exploration of themes like leadership, camaraderie, and nationalism. Which gland, secreting various hormones essential for growth and other bodily functions, is situated in the brain? Pituitary. The pituitary gland is a pea-sized endocrine gland located at the base of the brain. Often called the master gland, it produces and secretes hormones that control the function of many other endocrine glands, playing a vital role in growth, metabolism, reproduction, and stress response. Which gland, secreting hormones affecting circulation and muscular action, is situated above the kidneys? Adrenal. The adrenal glands are small, triangular-shaped glands located on top of both kidneys. They produce hormones, including adrenaline, epinephrine, and cortisol, which help regulate metabolism, immune system, blood pressure, and responses to stress. Which predatory insect, with 2 pairs of large transparent wings that are spread while resting, can fly the fastest? The Australian variety can reach a speed of 36 miles per hour. Dragonfly. Dragonflies are renowned for their incredible aerial agility and speed, making them one of the fastest insects. Their 2 pairs of strong, independently operating wings allow for complex maneuvers, including rapid acceleration, hovering, and swift directional changes, crucial for hunting prey and evading predators. An Ipsos Mori survey carried out this year showed politicians to have the lowest level of trust of any occupation in the UK. What percentage of people trusted politicians in general to tell the truth, except within plus or 5%? 18%. Public trust in political figures is a critical indicator of democratic health and public engagement. This survey highlights a significant societal challenge regarding transparency and accountability, often reflecting public dissatisfaction with governance and political discourse. The Ipsos Mori poll on public trust showed which other 3 professions to have less than 30% of the public trusting them to tell the truth? Name 2 of 3. Bankers, journalists, estate agents. Low public trust in professions like bankers, journalists, and estate agents often stems from perceptions of self-interest, misrepresentation, or ethical breaches. These findings underscore broader societal concerns about corporate responsibility, media integrity, and transparency in financial and property sectors. Which large insect, with transparent wings held roof-like over its back, and noted for the loud shrill chirping of the males, has a life cycle of 13 to 17 years? Cicada. Cicadas are insects known for their distinctive singing and long, often prime-numbered, synchronized life cycles of 13 or 17 years in their periodical species. They spend most of their lives as nymphs underground, emerging only for a short adult phase to mate and lay eggs. Which British king, famous for his string of mistresses, had an arranged marriage to Caroline of Brunswick, and did not accede to the throne until he was 57? George IV. George IV reigned as King of the United Kingdom and Hanover from 1820 to 1830, having previously served as Prince Regent for his ailing father, George III. His reign is often associated with a period of extravagance, known as the Regency era, marked by a lavish lifestyle and strained personal relationships. Which is the most northerly and largest island of the Philippines, on which stands the capital, Manila? Luzon. Luzon is the largest and most populous island in the Philippines, located in the northern part of the archipelago. It is a major economic and political center, home to the capital city of Manila and other significant urban areas. What word is used in geology to describe rocks formed from volcanoes or from magma within the Earth's crust? Igneous. Igneous rocks are one of the three main rock types, formed from the cooling and solidification of molten rock, magma or lava. This process can occur either beneath the Earth's surface, intrusive igneous rocks, or on the surface, extrusive igneous rocks, such as volcanic rocks. In what decade was Plaid Cymru founded? 1920s. Plaid Cymru, also known as the Party of Wales, was founded in 1925 with the aim of promoting Welsh culture, language, and ultimately, independence for Wales. It has since become a prominent political force in Welsh politics, advocating for national interests and devolution. If the radius of a circle is 5 centimeters, what is its circumference in centimeters, rounded to 1 decimal place? 31.4 centimeters. The circumference of a circle is calculated using the formula C equals 2 pi r, where r is the radius and pi is approximately 3.14159. For a radius of 5 centimeters, the circumference is 2 pi asterisk 5 equals 10 pi approximately equals 31.4 centimeters when rounded to 1 decimal place. This is a fundamental concept in geometry. Which is the most northerly of the main islands of Japan? Its capital, Sapporo, has notably hosted the Winter Olympics. Hokkaido. Hokkaido is the second largest and northernmost of Japan's 4 main islands, known for its vast wilderness, volcanic activity, and cold winters. Sapporo, its capital, hosted the 1972 Winter Olympics, marking the first time the Games were held in Asia. In geology, what term describes rocks formed from the accumulation and compaction of sediment, such as sand, mud, or silt, deposited by wind, water, or ice? Sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks are one of the 3 main rock types, formed by the deposition and subsequent cementation of material derived from the weathering and erosion of pre-existing rocks, or from the remains of dead organisms. They often contain fossils and are found in layered strata, providing insights into Earth's geological history. In which decade was the Scottish National Party, SNP, founded? The 1930s. The Scottish National Party, SNP, was founded in 1934 through the merger of the National Party of Scotland and the Scottish Party. It is a social democratic political party advocating for Scottish independence from the United Kingdom and is currently the largest political party in Scotland. Who were the 2 scientists who discovered the structure of DNA, for which they were awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1962? James Watson and Francis Crick. James Watson and Francis Crick, along with Maurice Wilkins, were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1962 for their groundbreaking discovery of the double helix structure of DNA. Their work, published in 1953, revolutionized biology and laid the foundation for modern genetics. Which elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut, was the site of a tragic mass shooting in December 2012? Sandy Hook Elementary School. Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, was the site of a devastating mass shooting on December 14, 2012, where 20 children and 6 adult staff members were killed. The tragedy sparked renewed national debates on gun control and mental health in the United States. Among the writers of the 27 books of the New Testament, who was the only Gentile, or non-Jewish, author? Luke. Luke is traditionally considered the author of the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, making him the sole Gentile writer among the authors of the New Testament. His writings provide a comprehensive account of Jesus' life and the early Christian church. What is the world's largest island? Greenland. Greenland is the world's largest island, covering an area of approximately 2.16 million square kilometers. Geographically part of the North American continent, it is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark.